So we're back on the Netherine. We're out here Bream fishing, and we're hooking a crap ton today. So let's get into the video, man. Oh, awesome fish! Look at that. This time we're using size 12 hooks, a little bigger for the worms. Cinch it on. There's our rig. Main line, feeder, leader, and then this like 3-4 pound, I think 2.5 foot leader to a small size 12 Gamakatsu. Almost like an octopus hook, similar. Okay, now we're gonna make the bait. Okay, so I learned another thing from the tackle shop when going for these big bream. When you use the maggots, you tend to only go for the smaller roach, the other pest fish. But we came with some different today. We got some worms. We're gonna give these a try out. So I think the big bream will just be eating on the worms. So the ground bait we're using still has like the maggots in it as bait, but the main bait's gonna be the worm. So I might chop up a couple worms in the ground bait to kind of give that, I guess, that worm scent, as you could say. And then I'll still add like some of this liver concentrate for the bream. And yeah, man, we'll give that a try. So what we got here is a ground bait, the maggots, and then kind of threaded our worm up the line. I still kind of exposed that hook a bit, if you can see it there, kind of exposed. That's just so we hook it when the fish sucks up the bait. Okay, now we'll give this a cast. So just another thing when casting these things, or this type of rig, bring it back, cast, pull away until it gets tight, and then let it sink down.
Damn, Joe. Damn, Joe.
Yeah, fish on. Fish on. Fish on. Fish on. Oh, nice. Nice bream. this worm has been working like crazy. That's 2 casts. It's crazy how the difference between the maggot and the worm. The maggot, the bites are just like a little like twitch, and I think it's mostly from smaller fish like goby and the roach. But with the worm, it must just be the perfect size where the roach have a hard time fitting it in their mouth. And just the bream will focus on and you could just specifically target the bream. And the other thing is that with these bites with the worm, the rod fully just like corks, like it'll like voom, voom, and then on the 3rd time it'll just fully cork over, and then you know the fish is pinned. And the fish like the worm so much that it just basically hooks himself. So we're gonna put on a new worm because I can see it's all chewed up, and then bait up again. Put some more bait down. Okay, so we've caught a couple fish. The one big thing I can take away, as well as the thing with the worm and the fact that it has heavier strikes and the bigger bream, you can select bigger bream with it. I think also keeping the tip of the rod up instead of having it low to the water, actually, I don't know, I think it keeps the line out of the current. And I know braid cuts through current really well, but still, even if the rod tips lower, it'll still put enough drag to move my lead. And I find if I keep my lead up like that, it's more direct to the lead, and it's more sensitive, as well as the lead doesn't move, so I can indicate strikes a lot better. So that's just another takeaway that I've found after this session.
Damn, Joe.
Oh, there's some weight behind this one. The downflow of the current. So last time we were fishing down that way, where the current was kind of pulling the bait straight, where actually I talked to the guy at the tackle shop, and he was saying actually most of the fish are kind of upstream of the little dike thing here. But yeah, so I'm casting upstream here, and like I said before, the current like comes from out there, comes down, and then comes back around and kind of does a circular motion here. So in the middle, there's kind of a back current going back up the river. So I'm casting like just to the right of that buoy out there. And that's giving enough current to straighten out my leader and put tension from the end of my hook to my rod. And yeah, so that's kind of where those fish are hanging out. So we're gonna keep hitting those spots, and that's the plan. Another thing to note is after a couple fish, I noticed my hook was getting a little bit dull. So I think it's good to switch out leaders like every 5 fish. Dude, this is a big one. Big head shakes.
Turn me up, Silk.
Big head shakes. Stop there. It's a bigger one for sure. Big bream. Big bream, big bream, big bream.
Get out of there.
Bring them in right here. Holy shit, that's a big one. Big one, absolutely big one. Oh God. Awesome, man, awesome. What a day out bream fishing. Catching so many fish, what a day.